Different spots.
But their house is pretty good. So, I sit in this, well, kind of in general. So, I do have a
Evening. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's public hearing. Before we get started, please turn off your cell phones or other electronic devices to avoid any interruptions. If anyone is present is planning on presenting testimony, please sign the sheet in the back of the room. Anyone who wants an opportunity to speak tonight will have the time to do so. Please step up to the podium when it's your turn and make sure you clearly identify yourself for the record before you begin your testimony. We request that you please keep your testimony focused on the relevant issues and facts for each application. Please remember, these hearings are to allow for members of the public to speak on issues related to land use applications, not to air grievances about each other or your neighbors. We will not tolerate or allow testimony that is hateful in nature and will stop testimony if it delves into a statement other than on other people's character. It's Wednesday, the 15th day of July. The time is 6 p.m., the time set for our public hearing. All three commissioners are present. Are there any changes to the agenda, Mr. Clerk?
No, sir.
No changes to the agenda. All right, we'll take up our new business. The first item on our business, and I'll open a public hearing on application 2023-00710 MSP TE. Gary McAllister. We'll get a report from our staff, Brent Danielson, and then we'll allow the applicant to make a presentation. If anybody's here wants to testify after that, you can do that, and then the applicant will have a few minutes to do a rebuttal. Go ahead, Brent.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2023-00710 MSP-TE is a board-level time extension of the master site plan for the remodel and expansion of the Shady Acres gas station and convenience store. The property is generally located in the Eagle area on the north side of State Street west of Park Lane. The property consists of approximately 1.72 acres and is zoned community commercial and is located at 4162 West State Street. The applicant is requesting a 2-year time extension. This is the applicant's first board-level time extension. If the board were to approve of the time extension, it could be given until June 7th, 2028. The applicant needs a time extension to hook up to Eagle Sewer District centralized sewer system. They're waiting for a neighboring property to develop in order to bring the sewer main to the site. We have not received any written comments from any neighboring property owners. We have received agency comments from the A County Sheriff's Office, the A County Building Official, Iowa Transportation Department, Iowa Department of Fish and Game, and the A County Engineer, and they either have no comments or objections to the time extension. Viola Water Idaho responded that the development is subject to compliance with Viola rules and regulations governing the rendering of water service, and they have provided requirements of what facilities will be needed to be served by them. Staff finds that the application complies with the A County Code and recommends approval to the board, and I'll stand for any questions.
Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, no questions? Thank you. Is the applicant here? Good evening.
Commissioners, Gary McAllister, 2115 East Bowstring Street, Meridian. I think Brent covered it pretty well. We're just waiting for the next door group sold the property, got all approved through Eagle and then sold it. So we're waiting for the new buyer and then we'll connect to the sewer.
All right, any questions from the commission? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Just, is this, you understand the time limit for the extension, and do you think you will have enough time to do it in that time limit?
Yeah, we're pretty much set to go. We're just going to wait till connect.
Right.
All right, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any documents needed to be added to the record?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my presentation will be exhibit number 26.
Okay, we've added that to the record. Anything else need to be added?
No.
Okay, hearing not, I'll close the public hearing on application 2023-00710 MSPTE, Gary McAllister. Okay, I see no reason not to extend the Mr. McAllister's application based on the findings, of fact, and conclusions. Is there a motion? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve application 2023-00710-MSP based on the findings, fact, conclusions of the law, and the discussion tonight.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Moving along, our next application, I'll open the public hearing on application 2026-00468, CPA ZOA, Ada County Development Services. Stacy's going to make the presentation for her boss.
Yes, sir. Let me get this sharing here. Hang on. All right, Eli, sorry, I did this wrong again. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. That was too easy tonight. Usually we have to go through several things, so my
Okay,
apologies.
good enough.
Commissioners.
Go ahead.
So, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. For the record, Stacy Dupree, Development Services. Tonight's item before you is for project number 2026-0468 CPA-ZOA, and is for a comprehensive plan, map, and text amendment and zoning ordinance amendment. And we are the applicants for this project. The purpose for this comprehensive plan, map, and text amendment is to update the City of Kuna comprehensive plan and future land use map as adopted by Ada County on October 22nd, 2025, which modified the Kuna area of impact. The City of Kuna amended their future land use map on February 17th of 2026 by resolution number R26-2026 and submitted their request to Development Services on February 18th, 2026. This shows the current area of impact for the City of Kuna, which is shown in light purple, and the Kuna city limits is shown in light brown. With this proposed amendment, the area of impact is to be reduced by approximately 5,531 acres. The City of Kuna has determined that these properties are not feasible and able to be annexed or served by city services in accordance with the new Idaho Code 67-65264A. Property owners affected by the proposed modification were notified by mail of tonight's public hearing as required. And as outlined in the findings of fact and conclusions of law, and as shown on this slide, the procedural process has been followed and completed, with agency transmittals being sent March 31st and June 12th of 2026. Property owners, as I stated, of affected parcels were notified as required. Public service announcements were sent out on May 1st and June 2nd and July 7th of 2026, and all required public notices were published in the Idaho Press. The comprehensive plan map amendment is compliant with the 3 goals outlined in the findings of fact document as well, and as shown here. These goals support updating comprehensive plans in coordination with the cities and supporting land use and development policies in their adopted comprehensive plans. Updating and adopting the amendment to the future land use map helps ensure that land use decisions made by Ada County and within Kuna's area of impact are in accordance with the city's vision for the area. There were only 3 written responses received, and there were no objections. The one response by a member of the public was in support of this modification, though they did express concern regarding the amended Title IX agreement between Ada County and the City of Eagle, which of course is not being considered tonight. The Title IX agreement with Kuna, which is being amended, will only update the ordinance numbers and resolution numbers that pertain to tonight's actions. And with that, staff recommends approval of project number 2026-00468 CPA-ZOA, and this presentation will be added as an exhibit. I believe it'll be number 19. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? All right, no questions. Is the applicant here?
We are the applicant, yeah. But if Richard has anything.
Comments?
Okay, well, no additional questions, and you don't need to add anything to for the record?
Nope.
So I will then close the public hearing on application 2026-00468 CPA ZOA. I'll accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I will move to approve project number 202-600-468-CPA-ZOA, CUNA Area of Impact, based on the findings of fact and conclusions of law contained in the staff report, the testimony heard this evening.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Any further discussion? I think it's great when we can work together with our fellow local government leaders. CUNA's asked us to do this, and we can do it and be helpful. Thank you. All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next up, I'll open the public hearing on application 2026-00603 CU MSP VAC PCONV Charles Chamberlain. Amelia Haynes is going to give us that report. Go ahead, Amelia.
Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2026-00603-CU-MSP-VAC-PCON-V is a conditional use and master site plan to operate a contractor's yard for a landscaping business. Also included in this application is a vacation and property consolidation to combine 2 parcels into 1 property, as well as a variance to allow the contractor's yard to operate on a property under 3 acres. The property is located at 1922 South McDermott Road and contains 1.35 total acres in the Rural Urban Transition District. The property is adjacent to the border between Canyon County and Ada County and is west of Meridian city limits. Most of the surrounding property is residential or agricultural uses, with what appears to be quarry operations to the west in Canyon County. The applicant is requesting to operate a contractor's yard to store vehicles, equipment, and materials associated with their landscaping business. The applicant owns 2 parcels, one of which is a residential lot and one which is part of an open space lot in the Apache Heights subdivision. The site plan shows parking for equipment and employees, along with material storage areas to the rear of the property. The yard will be 50 feet from property lines once the applicant's 2 parcels are consolidated. The current site plan does not have any structures or office for the use, but a future shop may be included in a renewal application in 5 years if approved. The applicant has also included a landscaping plan in their submittal, which will include several new trees and shrubs in the front, side, and rear property lines to screen the use, while leaving the side property line abutting the Reidenbach Canal as is, so as not to disturb the maintenance and operation of the canal. The proposed landscaping plan complies with Ada County Code requirements. As part of the application, a vacation and property consolidation application was included. The vacation is for a public utilities, drainage, and irrigation easement in between the 2 lots the applicant owns, which will be removed if approved so the property can be consolidated without an easement running through the middle. The current easement is not being actively used by any easement holders, but was included on the original plat for the Apache Heights subdivision for all interior lot lines. The vacation will be removing just the interior lot line between Lot 10 and the portion of Lot 11 of Block 1, as shown here. A variance application is required for this project because one of the specific use standards for a contractor's yard is that the property be at least 3 acres. Even with the 2 parcels being combined, the property is only 1.35 acres. In order to approve a variance, the board must make the following required findings. First, that the variance will not create a right or special privilege that is not otherwise allowed in the base district. Second, that the variance relieves an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site. And third, that the variance relieves an undue that the variance will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare. The variance does not create a right or special privilege, as the contractor's yard complies with the setbacks required for both the RUT district and the 50-foot setback for outdoor storage areas. The surrounding properties are mostly 1-acre lots, similar to the subject property. The variance, however, does not relieve an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site, as though the property is undersized for the RUT district. It was originally created as a rural residence through the non-farm subdivision process. This creates a legal property for residential purposes rather than the normal 5 acres for the transitional nature of the RUT district. Due to these reasons, the proposal does not meet the second finding for a variance. The variance will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare based on comments received on transmittal. The application was transmitted to agencies concerned with the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare, as well as neighbors within 300 feet. The City of Nampa commented that the use would be consistent with the proposed uses and zones in the area. Boise Project Board of Control commented that there are no Boise Project facilities on site, but the Reidenbach Canal abuts the site, which is under the jurisdiction of Nampa and Meridian Irrigation District. Ada County Highway District responded that they have no comments on the application. The Ada County building official commented that any proposed structures will need to have a commercial occupancy building permit. The Ada County surveyor commented that a draft copy of the resultant parcel descriptions will be required for review. Central District Health commented that an accessory use application is required. The Ada County engineer commented that the applicants are required to revise the site plan to show a berm along the Reidenbach Canal to prevent drainage into the canal, submit a grading application for approval, and have a compacted gravel surface for the parking area. We also received a late comment from Nampa and Meridian Irrigation District on Monday, July 13th, which requires that the easement for the Reidenbach Canal remain protected and that any encroachment will require a signed license agreement and approved plan before construction. This comment will be included in the record as exhibit number 36. I also have physical copies for the board to review. There was one comment received from a neighbor which brought concerns that the use created traffic, hazard to pedestrians, dust, and noise in the area. Staff finds that this comment is addressed by the record as ACHD did not provide any objections, and while the area is currently residential and rural in nature, the Meridian Future Land Use Map actually designates the property as commercial. The use is also temporary in nature, expiring after 5 years, or until annexed into a city, whichever comes first. Staff finds that the application does not comply with Ada County Code due to not meeting all 3 required variance findings and recommends denial to the board. The board should take into consideration any testimony presented tonight before making their decision. This presentation will be known as exhibit number 37, and I will stand for any questions.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, or try to remember everything you said. Nampa, the city of, how close is it, city of Nampa and city of Meridian?
So the reason City of Nampa commented is because the variance is within 1 mile of city limits. Canyon County abuts the site, but I believe the City of Nampa limits is further to the northwest, if I'm not mistaken.
It's in the impact zone of any city,
It's in Meridian's area of impact.
and their comments were?
They did not provide comments, but our own community and regional planners did provide comments that said it was in compliance with their comprehensive plan as adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
do we know what the structures are and the properties to the north and south of this? Are those residential homes or businesses?
Those are residential homes, I believe.
Okay. And the comment we received, was it from an immediate neighbor?
I don't know if he provided their address, but I do believe it was either an adjacent or nearby neighbor.
And what, do you know what the surface of the contractor's yard is supposed to be? Is that going to be gravel? Do we have any requirements?
Yes, if approved, the county engineer will require it to be a compacted gravel surface, and we can also require that a dust plan be on site to mitigate any possible dust.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So thank you. The site plan shows vegetation along the north side. Is that vegetation consistent with trying to ameliorate any dust or any impact of the yard? Would be?
That could be a side effect. The main reason for the landscaping is to screen the use and comply with the landscaping code for master site plans.
And the building code is to put that barrier there. What's the purpose of putting a barrier between that in the code? What's the idea behind it?
The landscaping?
The landscaping, yeah.
Mainly to screen uses, beautify the area. I think also to mitigate noise as well. I don't know if dust specifically was included in the purpose for our landscaping code.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
just a question on Napa Meridian Irrigation District's concerns. So as far as staff is concerned, would this project encroach or not encroach upon the irrigation canal?
Based on the current submitted materials, we do not believe it would encroach, but if approved, our engineer would be reviewing a grading and drainage application, which would further confirm no effects on the canal.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. One more question, clarification, make sure I understood correctly. So the ACHD's comments were that the traffic, it would be okay traffic-wise?
They responded in an email saying that they had no comments on the application and that an impact fee was not due. So they didn't say anything specifically, but they did not provide any objections.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
was there any restrictions on how many vehicles can be parked in or anything related to hours of operation?
The hours of operation were based on what the applicant said in their detailed letter, which I believe Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. Our county code does require 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and that falls within our requirements. As far as number of vehicles, it would just be limited to what they can park on in the assigned spots.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay. Okay, thank you. Is the applicant here? Go ahead, state your name and address for the record.
It's Charles Chamberlain, and the project number is 202-600-603 CV-MS-P-VC-on-V. So we're a design build landscaping company. We started in 2019, moved to 1922 South McDermott Road about 3.5 years ago. We started in a regular neighborhood, and then we just needed more space. So we moved to McDermott Road, which is an acre, 1.35 acres. We purchased that because that's basically what we could afford at the time. And we could still stay close to Meridian. All my families grew up in Meridian, and I went to high school in Meridian, so we wanted to stay close to that area for our family purposes. Didn't know we needed a contractor license till we basically got a complaint. So we were there a couple of years without a permit. One of the reasons we were is because we're not visual. If you look at the front of my house, you can't see anything in the back. No one would know unless they're basically a neighbor that there's a company back there. So once we learned we needed a permit, we've been going through the whole process of everything we've been told that we needed to do. So we got the architect to put a plan together. We've talked to the license. We hired a surveyor to survey the land. We consolidated the two parcels because with the biggest issue with us is that 50 feet variance is we're restricted to a small area of space to do anything. So basically my land is turning into just like this little square. So So yeah, so we need to get the parcels together. We've contacted all the easement situation, all the companies. The only one we're waiting on sounds like right now is we're waiting on Idaho Power to approve. We are battling. We don't have 3 acres. Now, when we started this process, it was 5 acres. So they had just changed it to 3 acres, and I think they're doing that because my assumption is because 5 acres is just so expensive now that, you know, small companies like a lot of landscaping companies can't get to that point without deep pockets. We did have a neighborhood meeting. So one person showed up, the neighbor across the street showed up, and his name's Don Murray, and he was a general contractor, and he thought he was fine with us doing what we were doing. We've got letters from another neighbor across the street. She was fine. Basically, the only one we've had a problem with is the one that's right next to us. So some of his complaints, his concern are traffic. We have a list of all the businesses that are in my area, and we have 30 businesses within a 1 mile radius. We have 2 gravel pits and a concrete plant, all within 1 mile. So the traffic, I don't think, is really just us, if that's a concern. Deliveries is one of his concerns. We get like 1 load or 2, you know, maybe at most 2 loads of topsoil delivered to the shop a month. The noise, we operate from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then we're only at the shop in the morning, and then we leave, and then we come back at the end of the day. So every once in a while we'll come in the middle of the day. But if it's all my employees, it will be, most of the time it's just at the start of the day and at the end of the day. All right, that's some other. Dust, we're willing to put a sprinkler system in or whatever's required to mitigate that. If that's a concern, that's not something that we can't address. I mean, we do sprinkler systems all the time. We can install one in the back area where we drive our trucks if that's required. It's going to be a little bit tough when we have the parking area right in the middle of the lot. The vehicles might get spray down at the same time. So one of the things is we are looking to, in the future, purchase the property behind us. There's a 2-acre plot, and so that's just one of our things that maybe in the next couple of years we'll be able to do that, and that will give us the ability to maybe move a little bit farther back away from our neighbor who has the concern. So, but yeah, we're not the only business in the area. Like I said, there's 30 other businesses that, including the neighbor that's complaining, he runs his own a business also. And I have a list. I don't know if you guys want this, but this is a list of all the businesses.
Does she have a list?
No.
Give one to her too.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, and here's a picture of the front of our property too. I don't know. And here's, there's one more. Yeah, one. All right. That's what I got for you.
All right. You neglected to give us your address. You give us your name, but not your address.
It's 1922 South McDermott Road, Nampa, Idaho, 83687.
Okay, thank you. All right, any questions of the applicant? Go ahead.
I guess just, you clarified one of my questions was, is it when you outgrow that, but you're contemplating expanding if, at some point in time, correct?
If it's feasible, yeah. It just all depends on if they'll sell behind us, or
That's-
if they won't, we'll probably eventually have to move somewhere else.
Right. And it's my understanding, I guess this is for both staff as well as you, it's in the Meridian Impact Zone, so what in their plan, what is it? What would, if they were in the city, what would it be zoned?
So the future land use map is commercial. We would allow contractors' yards in some commercial districts. I don't know if it was annexed, if Meridian would interpret it the same way. But for our commercial zoning, we would allow contractors' yards in some of the commercial districts.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Chair. And then this map shows the other businesses. Are they basically in the same area of, Meridian's area of impact and zone commercial? Would be if they were in the city?
No, so, I believe where his property is located and south on, Ada County lines is zoned for commercial. I believe the area north is residential. I would have to confirm, I'm not absolutely positive, but I believe north is more residential than commercial.
So he's on the edge, not in the middle of the business, these businesses, because I was trying to decide where exactly we were located. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you've said you've been currently operating on that site, but you hadn't got the conditional use permit?
Yes.
Okay. You know our staff is recommending against the variance, correct?
Yes.
So that kind of puts you in a tough position.
And it's tough.
Tell me about, okay, so the structure that's on there now, is it the house and your shop? What,
It's just my house. Yeah,
okay.
just the house.
Can we get the site plan back up from staff? Okay, so that's just your house
Yep.
to the left there. And then in the back that's where the vehicles are going to be parked?
Yep. That's where they're required to be parked.
And how many employees did you say you had?
We have 12.
And does each one have a vehicle?
Some of them don't have vehicles, some of them ride together.
And so do they come in the morning, park there, and then do they take
They
landscaping vehicles?
Yes.
And how many landscaping vehicles do you have?
We have 4.
Are those just regular pickup trucks or?
We have 1 dump truck, and then the rest are regular pickup trucks. Some of them have like utility beds on them.
And so, do any of those vehicles have backup beepers?
No.
No? Okay.
I think I think my skid steer has a backup. I think that's the only one, but I'm not sure. It might not.
So the employees go in the morning, they'll take the vehicles, they'll go out to different job sites throughout the day, and then come back around 5, 6, 7, whenever, and then go home from there. Have you had any issues with the traffic, as you've been operating, or in egress, ingress, any of that?
No.
Okay. And then you're able to put down, or maybe you have it already, compacted gravel to deal with any potential dust?
Yes, and it's already, I mean, over time, it will push into into the dirt, so we have to refresh it all the time. But yes, we have to put that down, or if it rains, the trucks get stuck. So yes, we have compacted gravel all the way through.
And are you doing any work on site?
Every once in a while, we have to fix machines, and there's we organize trailers, clean trucks. So there is some, but it's not at a consistent basis. It's not an everyday thing. It might be like once a month or a couple times a month. Just all depends.
So how much noise would you think you generate on site?
Oh, not much noise. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in general, it's not like we're cutting up concrete with saw. We're not like running saws. We might be running like a pressure washer or something like that. That might be the noise, but I mean, we're in a rural area. Everybody in the area cuts wood, and I mean, but it's nobody complain. The only complaint is the direct neighbor. Everybody else has been fine. So,
Yeah, if you complete the landscaping plan, is your yard still going to be visible, or will people not be able to see into the back there?
no, if we complete the landscaping plan, that's gonna buffer the whole, his side. Exact. I mean, the front, you still be able to maybe kind of see it from the driveway. We can't put trees in front of the driveway, but yes, yeah. It has, I think, a tree, I don't know, it was every 8 feet. So, yeah, it's a lot of trees.
Then what's the outdoor nighttime lighting situation going to be? Are you going to be able to keep the lights down so that it doesn't negatively affect the neighbors?
Yeah, we have no lights. We don't have any lighting out there as of now, unless we're required to put some type of lighting. So no, it's dark back there at night.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? I do have a question for you. You're combining two pieces of property, right?
Yep.
And what would be the overall acreage of the two combined?
1.35.
1.35?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think one's an acre and one's 0.35.
And where's the 3.35?
That's that little.
The little lip there?
Yeah.
Who owns that now?
We own it.
Oh,
Yeah, I own both. We're just trying to put them together so that we can run our variance off of the outside line instead of have to run it off of the inside. Because if we don't, we can't even get that little square that we have in the middle there, so.
and the canal company's okay with you doing that?
They haven't objected. Yeah, I think they approved the variance, or they just want us to do the berms for drainage, which is fine.
All right.
We'll do it, but I don't know if it's a real concern.
All right. Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I just thinking about looking at the picture again. So if you're combining those two, would you be able to configure, or would you contemplate configuring it so the parking, et cetera, would be further into, since they're combined, further south in terms of that? Or is it already configured so that you wouldn't want to do that? Whereas right now, it's all confined to the big spot and not that you would want to have major change of your configuration, but
Yeah. Right. explain the question. I'm not 100% sure.
Right now, looking at the overall map, we'll put up the map where he's located. That one. So right now, it's all configured to the north part of your, what would be combined lots.
Yeah, so this is configured to a combined lot. That line that's running through the middle.
Right.
Yeah, I'd have to be 50 feet off of that to do a parking area or those boxes. Those are just in general. I mean, we know we need the parking area. We don't know if we're gonna do the rock boxes. But yeah, basically that's about the space we have for parking, which, like I said, it's right in the middle of our lot. It's not really the most functional way to go, but that's what the requirements are. And so that's how we designed it the best we could.
So that's a configuration for the new
Yes.
property lines. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
How big is the piece of land that you're potentially going to purchase? If that was combined with the other, would that make 5 acres?
No, it's 2 acres. It would make 3.35
Okay,
acres.
thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Good, thanks.
Okay, is there anyone, I don't have anybody signed up to testify. Is there anyone here that would like to? Okay, go ahead. I don't see anybody.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
so the objection that we received was a letter objection from the north?
That's correct.
Could you restate that letter or just summarize it for us?
So the main objections that the letter, which is included in the staff report, was concerns about traffic hazards to pedestrian, dust, and noise in the area created by the use.
Any specific concerns about traffic or just generalized concerns about traffic?
I believe it was based off of trucks coming and going in the property, and I think there was also mention of this area being a bit of a slope, so it's a little bit hard to see trucks coming in and out. That was either based on the comment. There was also a phone call I had with the neighbor that also had similar concerns.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Okay, you have some items you need to add for the record?
Yes, Chairman Beck. The applicant's list of businesses and associated pictures will be included as exhibit number 38.
Didn't he give you another document as well? Just those two, just that one?
I'll just compiled them all.
Okay. Gave you several pictures, in other words. All right. Okay, did you have anything else you need to add to the record?
There's not.
Okay, there's being no other person that wants to testify to this, I will close the public hearing on application 2026-00603 CUMSP VACPCONV variance. Okay, the application is being closed. Is there a motion? Or is there comment from the board? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, based on what we've heard tonight with the ACHD comments on traffic and the applicant's comments on the willingness, and I don't know if we want to put this, but the noise and the other objections, I'm inclined to support the application.
Okay, any other comments?
I would tend to agree. I'd like to maybe see one extra condition that in the event they purchase the additional property, that they should be required to combine these parcels, and then we could remove a variance. So it would be one less variance in that neighborhood. Again, that would be if he purchases the property. But other than that, I think he addressed all the concerns that the neighbor had. I don't see any substantial traffic issues. And the fact that they're not really doing work on site, they're basically just parking there and going to job sites. It indicates there's not going to be a lot of noise or dust generated that could affect the surrounding areas. So again, I'm inclined to grant, would like to see maybe that additional condition in there.
Okay, well, we have, I don't think we can put a prospective condition of approval, can we, Mr. Director?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you could certainly add a condition of approval. You know, in this case, though, you would be, you know, granting the applicant the ability to use this site as it stands today in this configuration. And again, this would be, if you do vote to approve, it would be for a period of 5 years. And then if they come back and have acquired that additional property, they can include it at that time. That's certainly an option as well. I'm not sure exactly what the condition will add at this point.
It has to be reviewed in 5 years anyway.
Yeah, it does have to be reviewed in 5 years.
All right.
And I'll take this opportunity to remind you the findings that Amelia has presented for you are for denial. So if you do choose to move to approve, we'd ask it be tabled to probably the July 28th open business meeting to allow Amelia time to
So
revise.
if there is a motion, that the motion
Yeah.
would be to table it. If there's a motion to approve the application, the motion would be to table it until the July 28th to prepare a revised finding of fact and conclusions. Okay, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, could you put the number up that, Barrett, so I make sure, because I heard different numbers. Yeah, it's MSBC, okay, because I misunderstood some of this. Okay, I would move to approve application 2026-00603-CU-MSP-VAC-PCON-V and table it to the, based on the findings, facts, and conclusions of law and the discussion tonight, and table it until the July 28th OPM meeting so that the staff can revise the findings of fact.
And would you include my proposed condition in that?
Well, actually, I think based on what staff said, this in essence is conditional in the sense that it's going to have to come back. This is only for 5 years. It's going to have to come back in 5 years for reapproval, and at that point in time, it will be reconsidered in that context. So I wasn't going to put it in there as a separate one because it's going to have to come back anyway, but
Well, my only thought was if he purchases the land prior to 5 years, then we could remove the variance if they combine the lots before 5 years.
But I guess my point is it's going to have to come back regardless, and if he hasn't bought it, then we could consider at that point. But that's a staff question. Which would be better, to put it in as a condition, or just leave it in the 5-year normal review process?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my comment at this point is I guess the application you have before you includes just this property. There's been no, this additional property isn't included. We don't have the site plan. It's not really part, so it's hard to add it in between now and 5 years. You're basically, you're looking at the proposal as it stands today on its own. So it's a difficult condition to enforce in between, say in 3 years they do purchase that, but we haven't included it in this approval. There's no site plan, there's no landscape plan. It's kind of difficult to do that in the middle.
I guess that was my real question is, would it be better to actually, when he comes back in, he would have to ask for approval, and at that point in time, he would be able to say, and I have this additional land and this is what I've gone through, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Day, that's certainly an option. Perhaps another potential option for you, as if you would prefer a condition, is to have a language, Amelia could draft language that states if additional property is acquired in the future, any future application for renewal of this contractor's yard will include or should contemplate including that additional property, something along those lines, rather than something that happens in between now and the expiration of the approval.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was meaning. If we were going to do it, it would be something like that, not yeah. Okay, I would agree with that, if you would. So do you understand, do I have to make another motion, or do you understand, as you're writing up for our consideration on July 28th, that would be in the revised findings of fact?
Chairman Beck and Commissioner Daley, the only question I have would be, with that condition, would that effectively request that if they don't purchase the property in 5 years, that they do not reapply? I understand if they do purchase it and want to include the additional property in their contractor's yard, it would effectively be an expansion, which would need a new conditional use anyway. And if it was over 3 acres, it would no longer require the variance. So that aspect is already written in county code. The only other aspect would be if they are renewing in 5 years, do you want them to already have that 2-acre property included, which I'd be a little concerned about, since.
No, I think the way the director said was if they acquire a different, not they must require, but if they required additional property. I think that's the way, that would be the condition, if they apply.
I can incorporate that.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with that? So now,
I'll second that.
so staff understands what we want in the findings of fact changes, right?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we'll draft up a condition, and at the open business meeting, you'll have the opportunity to review what Amelia's,
If it fits what we,
what you intend here, then you could move forward. If not, you could table it again, and we could try again.
okay, so that the applicant understands that process as well. Thanks.
Could you repeat the motion? Okay, well, you've heard the motion. Is there any further discussion? Do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right. We will take up our next case. I'll open the public hearing on 2026-00694, BAC FPV Brooks Dane. Amelia is still up. Give us a report, Amelia.
Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2026-00694-VAC-FP-V is a vacation floodplain permit and variance to build an accessory structure within the Boise River Greenway Overlay District over an existing sports court. The property is located at 213 South Alder Lane and contains 1.151 acres in the Rural Urban Transition District. The property is located close to Eagle City limits and abuts the north channel of the Boise River. The applicant is proposing to construct a 1,500 square foot accessory structure to be used as an indoor gym and sports court, which would be constructed over the existing sports court in the rear yard. The property is located in the amended Viejo Estate subdivision, which is a non-farm residential subdivision along the Boise River. The proposed location for the accessory structure is both within the flood hazard zone AE, which requires a floodplain permit for development, and within the Boise River Greenway Overlay District, which prohibits certain types of development within 100 feet of the Boise River floodway boundary. The Boise River Greenway Overlay District, which is shown in green on the slide, prohibits structures, fences, and parking areas to be constructed within the overlay. The purpose of this overlay district is to protect and enhance the features of the Boise River, as well as protecting fish, wildlife, and recreation resources. The 100-foot boundary from the Boise River floodway is one of the ways this is accomplished. As the sports court is within this 100-foot boundary, a variance application is required along with the floodplain permit. The main reason the applicant is proposing to build the accessory structure over the existing sports court is the lack of flat buildable area on the property. As shown on the slide, the Boise River Greenway Overlay District takes up the rear yard, and a large pond and steep slope takes up the majority of the side yard. The only other flat area is in the front yard, which would block the entrance to the dwelling. Building the structure over the existing sports court would also minimize disturbance to the other parts of the rear yard as well. Another requirement of this application is due to the plat note for the amended Viejo Estate subdivision. Plat note 15 states all structures and fences shall have a 100-foot setback from the floodway boundary. This is the same regulation as the Boise River Greenway Overlay District, which effectively makes it a redundant requirement, as any structure or fence would be prohibited or require a variance, as this proposal is doing. The applicant is requesting to vacate this plat note in order to proceed with their application. If any other property owner wants to build a structure or fence within the 100-foot setback as this plat note describes, they would still need a variance, as it would be within the Boise River Greenway Overlay District. The vacation application complies with Ada County Code, as notice was given to the mayor of Eagle, as the property is within 1 mile of Eagle city limits. In order to approve a variance, the board must make 3 required findings. First, that the variance does not create a right or special privilege that is not otherwise allowed in the base district. Second, that the variance relieves an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site. And third, that the variance will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare. The variance will not create a right or special privilege, as accessory structures are allowed in the Rural Urban Transition District and will be located over the existing sports court, so that no additional clearing or excavation will be needed. The variance relieves an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site, because the other locations of the property are encumbered by water features or steep slope. The variance will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare, as evidenced by comments received on transmittal. The application was transmitted to agencies concerned with the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare, as well as neighbors within 300 feet. These comments have been incorporated into the conditions of approval. Eagle Fire commented that city water would be coming to the site soon, and the applicant has the option of waiting to construct the structure when a fire hydrant is within 500 feet of the site, or will have to install fire sprinklers in the building. Flood Control District Number 10 commented that access to the Boise River bank must be available for maintenance. The Ada County engineer commented that a final elevation certificate will be required once the structure is fully built. Staff finds that the application complies with Ada County Code and recommends approval to the board. This presentation will be known as Exhibit Number 30, and I will stand for any questions.
Any questions? Any questions? Okay, no questions. Is the applicant here?
I am, yeah.
Would you like to speak?
I don't know if I need to, but yeah,
Well-
if there's questions.
You're welcome to. You're welcome to speak. If
I'll
you'd like
speak
to
real
come up
quick.
to the podium and give your name and address, that's
Sure.
fine.
So Brooks Dame, address is 213 South Alder Lane. So yeah, we're looking to build on an existing structure, existing base there. We've been in the house for about 5 years. The house was constructed 20 years ago, and doesn't really have a gathering place. We're involved in the community, involved in our church, and have a big family. Have about 20 nieces and nephews in town as well. And so our house ends up being the house that everybody comes to. And again, we don't have a space inside based on the design of the house and the way that it lays out. There's a steep area down to the pond, and the flattest, kind of most accessible area is where the sports court sits today. And so we're looking to convert that into a gathering place that we can use in the wintertime as well as for family events and things like that.
Okay, any questions? No more questions?
Good.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here that wishes to testify for or against this application? Okay, are there any documents need to be added to the record?
There are not.
There are none. Okay, I will then close the public hearing on application 2026-00694 VACFP V Brooks Dame. The application has been closed. It's now before the board. Is there a motion?
Well, Mr. Chair, I think he's made the finding to be granted a variance, and so I'm inclined to agree with staff's recommendation. So I will move to approve, let's see, application 202-600-694-VAC-FP-V, based on the findings of fact and conclusions of law contained in the staff report and the testimony heard this evening.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. And next up, we have, I'll open the public hearing on application 2026-00633 ZCDA OTD. Belarjall. Okay. Doug is going to give us a report. Doug, go ahead.
All right. Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD is an application for a zoning ordinance map amendment, a development agreement, and a one-time division to rezone the property from the rural residential district to the rural urban transition district, and to create one 7.278 acre property and one 5.07 acre property. There are no structures proposed as part of this application. The property is located at 5445 East King Road and contains 12.33 acres, and it is currently within the rural residential district. The uses in the general area are residential and agricultural. The property is within the CUNA area of city impact. The proposed zoning ordinance map amendment and one-time division is in compliance with the CUNA Comprehensive Plan as adopted by Ada County, as the proposal will be conducive to the continuation of small-scale agriculture within an area of impact. This slide shows the existing structures on the property, including dwellings, multiple small sheds, pergolas, a greenhouse, shops, and the well and septic system locations. The subject properties, after a rezone and one-time division, will meet the minimum lot size dimensional standards of 5 acres for the rural urban transition district. The western lot, parcel 2, is proposed to be approximately 5.07 acres. The eastern lot, parcel 1, is proposed to be 7.28 acres. Each proposed parcel will meet the minimum street frontage requirements for the rural urban transition district of 250 feet. Some agencies' comments received were, the Central District Health Department makes no guarantee that a septic permit will be issued for the split-off lot. A speculative site evaluation is recommended, and any septic system currently installed must remain on the parcel of the structure in which it serves. The Boise Project Board of Control commented that local irrigation or drainage ditches must remain unobstructed. The Ada County building official commented that a building permit will be required for any new structures over 200 square feet. And the Ada County surveyor commented that the parcel descriptions close and match the areas listed. Additional corrections will be needed to the record of survey, however. A radius notice was sent to property owners within a 1,000-foot radius, and no neighbors provided comments on this application. Some of the key conditions of approval are, the draft record of survey shall be revised as recommended by the Ada County surveyor. The owner and/or applicant shall obtain new tax parcel numbers from the Ada County assessor. The owner and/or applicant shall provide one copy of the revised and recorded record of survey, proof of assignment of a new tax parcel numbers, and one copy of the updated and recorded deeds. Once the following documentation is provided, the owner and/or applicant shall request a letter stating that the one-time division has been finalized. On June 11th, 2026, the Ada County Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval. And staff recommends approval of project number 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD to the Ada County Board of County Commissioners. And this presentation will be added as an exhibit to the record, and I will stand for any questions.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Did I hear you right? You said corrections would be needed? What kind of corrections?
Let me see the specific comments from the county surveyor. They'll need to revise the 5/8 rebar found, and same with the set, and then verify the record of survey numbers that are listed on the draft.
The list that you read, that's what you were talking about. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, is the applicant here? Give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Jail Bejar. I live at 914 North School Avenue in Cuna. This is Juan Gabriel Ayun, and he's the owner of the property.
Okay, and so you're representing him?
Yes.
Okay. What was your name again?
Juan Ayun, oh,
Your address?
5445 East King Road, in Cuna.
Okay. All right, good enough. Go ahead.
I don't know that there's much more for us to add. He purchased this property about 7 years ago. There was 2 existing homes on the property. He remodeled them the best that he could, and in the future, he would like to build himself a newer, better home based on talking to Ada County if that was a possibility. They said in order to do that, we would have to split it into 2 lots. And so this is what we're doing first. Maybe down the road, if money becomes available, he would like to build or get a building permit and see if he can build himself a nicer home.
Okay. Any questions? Go ahead.
This is a curiosity question more than this. You said the staff said it was small-scale agriculture, so what are you contemplating in which lot, and how are you going to configure that? Just out of curiosity, not necessarily.
He doesn't do any agricultural. That was just the lot that he purchased.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there was any agriculture involved. And then the water, when you're dividing it there, the water is all going to be, this is for staff as well. The water issues have been addressed in terms of the well and surface water, correct?
For the surface water, yes, I believe, but there may still need to be an additional septic system once they are ready to build a new
Right,
dwelling.
like you said in there. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone here from the audience wish to testify? Okay, don't hear anybody. Okay, Doug, you have any documents you need to add for the record?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Then I will close the public hearing on application 2026-0063, ZCDA-OTD, Jahil Balar. Okay, application being closed. Is there discussion amongst the board?
I'm ready
For
for
a motion.
I'm ready for a motion. if
Okay,
that-
I'll accept a motion.
I move to approve application 2026-00633-ZC-DA-OTD based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and the discussion tonight.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
You've heard the motion. Any further discussion? Okay, the motion is to approve the application. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. All right, I'll open the public hearing on application 2026-00991 ACV Benjamin Knox. We've had Doug. You're up again.
All righty.
Go ahead.
Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2026-00991-AC-B is an application for a retroactive approval of an existing detached secondary dwelling. Also included is a variance to address the size, location, and number of bedrooms for the detached secondary dwelling. The property is located at 14296 South Cloverdale Road and contains approximately 5 acres within the rural residential district. The property is located within the Cuna area of impact, and the detached secondary dwelling proposal complies with the Cuna Comprehensive Plan as adopted by Ada County. The uses in the vicinity of the proposal are residential and agricultural. For site context and the variance application, the applicant is requesting that the unpermitted detached secondary dwelling exceed the maximum 60% design standard by roughly 700 square feet to exceed the maximum number of bedrooms of 3 for secondary dwellings, and to request an interior side setback for 12 feet from the property line instead of 25. This slide shows the site plan for the property. The site plan shows the location of the existing unpermitted secondary dwelling, as well as the proposed locations of a new septic tank and drain field. Some agency comments received were that the Idaho Department of Fish and Game, the CUNA Development Services Department, and the Ada County Engineer each commented that they have no comments on this application. The Central District Health Department commented that an accessory use application was denied. The Ada County Highway District commented that there are no improvements required to the adjacent street. Notice of the application was sent to neighbors within a 1,000-foot radius, and no neighbors provided written comments on this application. But I did, however, speak with a concerned neighbor about the project, but no official written comment was submitted. For variance applications, 3 findings must be made. First, the variance shall not grant a right or special privilege that is not otherwise allowed in the base district. Staff finds that the variance grants a special right or privilege that is not otherwise allowed in the base district, as all structures, including secondary dwellings within the rural residential district, are required to adhere to dimensional standards, which includes interior side setbacks. Similarly, all secondary dwellings must meet specific use design standards for maximum size and the maximum number of bedrooms. Second, the variance relieves an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site. Staff finds that the variance does not relieve an undue hardship due to characteristics of the site because the site does not feature steep slopes, flood hazard zones, or any water bodies. And lastly, the variance shall not be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare. Staff finds that the variance is not detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare if Central District Health approves of a new septic system. Staff recommends denial of project number 2026-00991-AC-V to the Ada County Board of County Commissioners. And with that, this presentation will be added to the record, and I will stand for any questions.
Any questions further?
Mr. Chair, just circling back to Central District's Health's comments, they stated that they are not approving this as an accessory structure. Can you delve into that a little bit?
Yeah, I believe as it is now, the applicant might know better than me, but I believe they originally had proposed to use an existing septic system, and Central District Health denied that aspect of it.
And so if they install a new septic system for this particular structure, Central District Health would approve it?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, and just to follow up on that, so that would be one of the conditions that they, if it were approved, they would have to do that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So the next question is, when was that house built?
From my understanding, I believe it was built in the 1980s as just an accessory structure, but at some point in the past 20 or so years, it was converted into a dwelling, but it was not permitted as such.
Okay, it wasn't originally built as a dwelling,
That is correct,
but
yes.
it's been converted.
Yes.
And was that done by the current owner?
No, it was not.
So they bought the property with it configured the way it is now and utilized the way it is now as a dwelling?
I believe so, yes.
Both of them as dwellings?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
were there, on the accessory structure, was it expanded? Was there add-ons put onto it? Like, is the square footage more than when it was originally built? Do we know?
I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, is the applicant here?
Yes.
Give us your name and address. Thank you.
Knox Benjamin, 14296 South Cloverdale Road, Cuna, Idaho, 83634. Good evening, Commissioners. Oh, perfect.
Just let me know when you want me to change.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for your time this evening and for the opportunity to speak. My name is Knox Benjamin. Before I talk about the application itself, I'd like to just take a moment to tell you why this property means so much to my family and I. My wife Camille and I have 3 young boys. About a year ago, we purchased this 5-acre property because we believed it was a special place to raise our family. I was born and raised in Idaho, and my family's roots go back here 7 generations, with some branches even going back 8. Idaho has always been home to me, and this community is where my wife and I hope to continue raising our children. Over the past year, we've invested a tremendous amount of time, effort, and resources into improving this property because we care deeply about it and the future we're trying to build there. We want to be good stewards of this property and good neighbors in our community. That is why this application is so important to us. The request before you tonight involves an existing structure that has been on this property for decades. I'm not asking to build a new structure. I'm not asking to expand the footprint. I'm asking for variance relief that would allow this existing structure to move through Ada County's permitting process as an accessory dwelling unit. I appreciate the time staff has invested in reviewing my application. I understand staff reached a different conclusion than I have on 2 of the required findings. I respect their work, and I'd like to explain why I see those findings differently. You can change it. Thanks. Special privilege. I'm not asking for permission to build a larger building than someone else could build. I'm not asking to add another structure or expand the footprint. I'm asking you to consider a structure that has existed on this property for decades. The requested relief stems from that one existing structure. Hardship. I understand staff concluded my property doesn't have steep slopes, flood hazards, or similar physical constraints. I respectfully believe that the hardship here is different. The hardship comes from the fact that this existing structure has existed in this location for decades. Relocating the structure isn't practical, and modifying the building wouldn't address the fundamental circumstances that bring us here today. Public health, safety, and welfare. I appreciate that staff concluded there was no evidence this request would be detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare. I've worked with county staff, held the neighborhood meeting, met with Brian Gilbert, the building official, and based off of his recommendation, even hired a licensed structural engineer to do an inspection of the building. And I'm committed to completing the engineer's recommendations and installing the required permitted septic system. Next slide. This is a 5-acre rural residential property. The affected setback borders a private access road rather than directly bordering a neighboring residence. The surrounding properties are rural with significant separation between homes. There is ample parking and no expansion of the building footprint is proposed. Commissioners, I recognize that every application must be evaluated on its own unique facts. When I look at this application, I don't just see measurements on a site plan. I see an existing structure on a unique 5-acre rural property where my family hopes to build our future. I respectfully ask that, after considering the unique facts of this property, the limited impacts on surrounding properties, and the efforts I've made to work through Ada County's process, that you grant the requested variance. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I will stand for questions.
Okay, any questions?
Question for staff. Is there any other mechanism in code that could accommodate this, or is it completely restricted by our current ordinances?
It's restricted by our code.
And so really the variance is the only relief here.
Correct, yes.
For the applicant, have you priced out what a new septic tank is going to cost you?
I have, and there's cost involved. We have lava rock in South Kuna, so there will be significant cost involved. But I'm prepared to do that. So,
And what do you envision the future of the property between the two houses? Who's going to be living there, and is it going to be kept within the family, or are you thinking of turning one of them into a rental or an Airbnb or something like that?
One will be a long-term rental with another family. Yeah. Yep. A family, ideally a young family like ours. So.
And what was the property being used for previously? How did you get to this point where it kind of got on the radar of coming before the county?
Yeah, no, so we live in one unit, and as has been said, we bought it about a year ago. Building was built at least 30 years ago. Sometime in the past, previous owners had put living quarters in there. Very rough set of living quarters, but a shower, a bathroom, a kitchen, a washer and dryer. We came in and improved it. It tried to make it safer, as it was, like I said, it was rough. But yes, we've come in and improved it and currently live in it. So.
Did you come into the county to get permits for the improvement, and then that kind of red flagged it as being outside the scope of an accessory?
I applied to build a new home on the property, and was planning to downgrade it to an accessory structure, which I was allowed to do. Neighbor came in and complained, and at that point, I went to Central District Health for that accessory structure because there's bathrooms involved. Wanted to ensure that I could keep those bathrooms in the accessory structure. Central District Health originally told me we don't have record of that system, that septic system, but if you have it inspected and we come and inspect it, we could retroactively permit that. That's what the office told me. It got moved up to Lori Bedigian, and she said, no, we don't have record of it. You can't use that system. And so we said, if financially, we can't afford to replace the whole septic system if it's just going to be an accessory structure, right? So at that point, we decided we'll settle. We won't build a new house, and we'll settle and go through the permit process to make that a legal ADU. And of course, still have to replace the septic system, but in a dwelling, at least we can utilize that septic system and that additional expense.
What was the concern of the neighbor?
That it was being used and lived in.
No effect to his property?
It doesn't really affect his property. He lives well to the east of me. His road touches my property, his access road. But his dwelling itself, we have about 8 acres in between us. So no real dwelling effect. He sees it as he drives by on his road. But yeah, no real effect for how he lives and where he lives. So.
Any more questions? You have any questions? Okay. Which home do you live in?
We live in the ADU that we're applying to permit.
So you live in the one that's not, that did,
Yeah, we live in the structure that the application
question. And
applies.
what's the current condition of the other home?
Current condition?
Yeah, is it rented or?
Yeah, a family lives in there.
You have a tenant living in the.
Yeah.
In the primary dwelling, you have a tenant living in it.
And my family lives in the
You're
other.
living in the ADU.
Yes.
And it's it looks like, it's smaller than the main house.
It is, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the areas that is a violation of our code is the size of it. It's 389 square feet larger than what people, is that correct?
Yes. Over the 1,200 square foot maximum.
Yeah.
For 255, right? 1455 minus the 1,200. Yeah, 255 square feet over the 1,200.
Oh, I guess.
Does that make sense? So it's
I'm reading
1455.
on a report. It says 389 square feet, 400.
So there are two aspects to that. There's the 1,200 flat maximum, and then
Right.
there's also the 60% of the primary dwelling maximum.
Which one's the most important?
We usually go off of the 60%, but in this instance, it's over both size
Yeah, I see
requirements.
that. The other one that our staff is noting is it has 4 bedrooms, which is, for some reason, an ADU can only have 3 bedrooms. Is that right?
Correct.
Which is the most important, the size or the extra bedroom?
I don't have an opinion on that.
Okay. All right, and you were trying to build a new home and just you put this, convert this back to like a shop or something?
Exactly. Yeah, very originally, that was our plan. And then primarily because of that septic system replacement just for an accessory structure, we forewent or decided to cancel that plan and
But
pivot.
you have to build a septic system for a new home?
I would, but again, that would be able to be lived in. So this accessory structure, there's quite a bit of cost in that permit, or I mean, in that septic system, right? So if we could just use it as an accessory structure, it felt like it was a total waste of investment there to put a brand-new septic system on something that we couldn't even live in. Does that make sense?
Well, could you use the same septic system for the new home?
No. Are you saying if we were to build a new home, could we reuse the system?
Use the system for the 1 or 2 bathrooms that you would have in the ADU?
Oh, that system, my house was built like 100 years ago, and so Central District Health won't let us
No, I mean,
use
if you
that.
build a new house, you're talking about building a new house, correct?
Well, that has nothing to do with this application. Again, that was a past application that has been canceled and replaced by this one.
Well, I understand that.
Okay.
I get that entirely, but this application hasn't been approved either.
Can you ask it one more time?
I'm wondering, you said your preferred alternative was to build a new home. But yeah, you learned that you couldn't build a new home because you'd have to have a septic system for both the ADU and your new home.
Yeah, it would have been a total of 3 septic systems.
And I'm not sure that would be the case. I'm not sure, depending on how it was structured.
That's what
the health
essentially-
department told you is that the one building didn't have enough capacity to add another unit to it. What they didn't say, you can size septic systems different size.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, so if we had gone through with that plan, we would have had to have a total of 3 separate septic systems, 2 new ones. With this current application, I'll just have to replace 1 septic system.
So that's your preferred alternative right now?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's exactly what the application is.
All right, any other questions? Any questions? All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I do have, a couple of people who wants to speak on this. David Bond. Give us your name and address, sir.
David Vaughn, 14600 South Cloverdale, Cuna. I'm the property owner on 3 sides of his place. I met him last May. Another neighbor and I were just standing over our fence looking at a new post hole that Idaho Power drilled. This person came up and identified himself as the new owner of the property in question here. There were The previous owners were still there, but this guy said his intention was he was going to remodel the existing house, and he was going to remodel what was originally a saddle shop and then a body shop. He told me and another neighbor that he was going to remodel the house, both of them, and then rent them out to pay for his third house, which it took a while to figure that out, but here's a picture he submitted of that very structure that he's talking about. The first letter he sent, he's calling it a garage. Later on, he revised the picture, changed the captions, but he's been there for 8 months, if not more. He remodeled the house from the 30s, remodeled that, and just nearly instantly rented it out. Then he started remodeling a previous saddle shop and a car body shop, which, yes, it had a restroom and a cot and different stuff in the back because the saddle man had cowboys come by and they would need a place to stay while they were getting their horses measured or whatever for their saddles, or they'd be drinking and wanted to stay over. There was never anyone living in that auxiliary house on the right-hand side of this picture here. But his intention was to rent both of those places to pay for this house, a new house. And it just isn't going over very well. And also, he has been there for at least 8 months with neither house with a building permit. And he uses better words than I do. He and his wife both are realtors. And they say they don't even need a building permit for a year. But yet they've been in those houses for over 8 months with no building permit. They just come and go as they please. And right now, I've got different pictures of that auxiliary house that's on the right there. There's a big dirt pile right by the door. And our property line on one side is 11 feet. The front door is within 15 feet. There's a big dirt pile. There are 3 really small kids in each house. They get out there and play, and it leaves a blind spot for them. They can't see us coming and going. We can't see them if they're chasing their chickens, their toys, or what. My partner and I drive that driveway constantly back and forth to our mailbox. Amazon is there daily, and yet they've created a blind spot and done all of that with no building permit. It's just, I don't see that right.
Okay, any questions?
Sharon?
Go ahead.
Are you saying you drive on that little road on the far right there?
Yes, that's my driveway, but the property line goes up to 11 feet of their house. You can see the grass area next to the line that goes up, the driveway. I'm back there at least another 1/5 of a mile, but that is my private lane back to my house. And besides all of the other stuff, I'm on 3 sides and have cattle also. These people, at their convenience, get out with their side-by-sides, whiz, bang, boom, going around their property line, stirring up the dirt so much you can't even see my driveway, scaring cattle, or potential. I never know when the cattle are going to be there. But, yes,
So is there, so your concern is that if kids are playing on the road, you might not see them?
they could be. You know, they try to watch their kids, but how are you going to watch 6 little kids? And also, it doesn't show in that picture, but I've got a picture here of that big dirt mound that blocks the view, and pictures of the side door within 11 feet of my property line, within 20 or so feet of our driveway.
Would you like to show us that picture?
Okay, who asked for the picture?
You'll have to submit it for the record, but
Okay, there's the side door of the driveway. You can see where the dirt changes 11 feet from my property line to their side door. This is a front door. And there's this dirt pile, which is partly on my land, which I don't care. I'm more concerned with kids running out there chasing their chickens or their toys, balls. And this is a view of these two houses with 6 small kids under 4 years old in that amount of space.
All right, can you go back to the microphone for us? It just helps the audio to get you behind the microphone, but thank you for providing these. And it looks like there's no fencing anywhere around the yard?
No, and we requested fence, and we don't know who is responsible for the fence. I wouldn't want to be responsible for one of their kids running out there. And they've left a blind spot right there that we can't see past their house.
Would fencing solve that issue?
Yes, it would. But that solves part of it. That solves the driveway driving situation. But I am also displeased about all this construction with no building permits, no inspections, and they think they're home free because they're realtors.
And you mentioned something about your cattle.
I have cattle, yes, not my cattle, that I have neighbor grazing on my land, which come right up to the fence line of, if there's a different picture back there.
But there's no fence between the properties?
It's all fenced off except the driveway next to his house.
Okay, but you said the cattle are being disturbed?
They could be. If they have no consideration if they're out there riding or side by side, speeding or whatever they do at their convenience too. I've only seen it twice, but it's blocked where you can't even see the view of my driveway from the dirt they stir up.
From driving a motorized vehicle back there?
Yes, it's on their land, but it abuts my fence where the cattle are, when the cattle are there. They come and go out of the desert when they want to.
Do you think the cattle are being disturbed, or you know it and you've seen it?
Oh, no, it's just potential.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But my question still is the lack of a building permit to have done all of this.
Well, that's why we're here today.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Before you sit down.
before you sit down,
Brad, got another question, go ahead.
I have a question. So you've lived there for how long?
30 years. My partner has been there since 1984. These people say somebody lived in that building back there. Never.
How long have those places been there? How long have those two structures been there?
Well, the house in the front is like in the 1930s. It was moved on in the early 80s. And then the shop back there was before my time. I was there in 96, and it was already there as a saddle shop. When that guy moved out, it became a car body shop.
And so people have been there before. While you're living there, you've been driving by on that driveway, and people have lived in that.
That's my sole driveway. You can see in a picture there, we've been driving that. And now that Amazon is in business, it's sort of a joke, but Amazon comes to our house every day.
But you have been living there, and people have been living on that location for, you said, 20 or 30 years as well, correct?
I've been there for 30 years myself, yes.
But other people have lived in that, and you've been driving by on the driveway, is my point.
Yes, but never any kids there.
So for that many years, who was living there in that
I've
time?
been there for 30 years. My mate here's been there since 1984.
No, I'm talking about the other property that you drive by. What has been the occupancy of that in those years? that you've been driving by on that same road,
Pictures.
on that same road.
In these pictures, the house was the saddle maker that had a shop, that was the original saddle maker shop, the square building. Then he sold out to a person that started a body shop, going to have his own junkyard and car body shop, worked out of that building for at least 20 years. And then he moved out last July, and these people just instantly started taking it on themselves to remodel both buildings right there with no permit.
So it's been a commercial building until recently.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
No, do you want these in the record?
Yeah, well, he's already.
Yes, they can stay in the record.
Yes, he's already put them in the record. Okay, any other questions?
Question for staff, I guess regarding the third condition to grant a variance of public health or safety. Did you take into consideration the children playing on the road and potential issues with that as a health and safety concern?
I did not because I didn't receive an official written comment about that.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yeah, we have Shirley Hoops. Welcome, Shirley.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Hooper, 14600 South Cloverdale Road. David is my partner. We live in the property immediately to the north of this property that under discussion. The comment I would like to make, I have a couple of comments. One, I noticed that they have a site, a proposed site for a drain field for a septic tank. That, in the photograph that you've got, it's immediately adjacent to our property line, to our fence, our driveway. I'm very concerned about that. The construction of that, when we had drain fields put in, they used heavy equipment. I don't want my driveway torn up. I don't want those trucks making mud. You know what I'm saying, with the getting the ground torn up and everything? Anyway, that's one concern. Two, the cattle. Our neighbors have been grazing their Charolais cattle. Now, Charolais are very, very large, much, much bigger than a Holstein and a Hereford. As many as 50 head right there. They're not there right now because of the fires. But I would be very concerned about the cattle being there, and they've got their calves, and a bunch of kids playing around could spook the cattle. Our property fence, the westernmost property of our fence is their easternmost, and the cattle would be in there. I can imagine it's possible that kids would be curious about calves. These are not cute little fuzzy lambs, but the kids wouldn't know that. And the mother cows would get very perturbed with kids playing around anywhere near them. I value my neighbors, the people who have the cattle. They've been grazing their cattle there. We've got 19 plus acres, and they've been grazing their cattle there for as many years as I've been there. And I love it. I want them to continue, and I don't want the cattle spooked, and I don't want the kids hurt. I'm also, as David said, we're concerned about the driveway where there is a lot of traffic. That's our driveway. It's several hundred feet going back to our property. I think there definitely does need to be a fence. We have UPS trucks and the Amazon trucks, our trucks, our neighbors' trucks, or other neighbors' trucks. So anyway, yes, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the kids running around and playing. I'm concerned yesterday that the chickens were just running all over, and I can just see the chickens running into the street, and well, why not? And getting killed, kids getting upset, which would make sense if their chickens got killed. I'm just talking about attracting nuisances. I guess that's the right word if you're a little one. Anyway,
Okay.
we have concerns about the neighbors. Yes,
All right.
thank you.
And is there any questions?
Oh,
Go ahead. All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have I can't quite read it. One Benjamin?
Did I say everything right?
Is it O&A or Clay?
I think that was Che Benjamin.
Okay, I can't read. Oh, there, I see it now.
Sorry. Apparently, my
together there.
handwriting needs improved.
All right.
Che Benjamin, 754 East Pascagoula Drive, Kuna, Idaho, 83634. I just wanted to briefly touch on a few things. The applicant is my brother, and I just want to touch on some of the improvements that we've actually made on the property already, directly to the roadway that they're speaking of. I guess for one thing, they've talked about the dirt mound being a blind spot. Part of that is we've tried to clean up the area to the right side of the dwelling unit. It was, before it was, as stated, used as kind of like a junkyard. So we've hauled multiple loads to the trash, taken down old buildings and everything to make it look prettier. There is some leftover rock from some of the decorative rock and weed barrier that we've put in along the side to try and make it look nicer. That's something that can easily be addressed, and obviously we can take care of that if that creates a blind spot. As well as, hasn't been spoken to too much, but as a good neighbor, we're planning on doing all the landscape over there to try and make it look nicer and beautify it. I think maybe an appropriate condition might be a fence, if that's the main concern for kids getting over there. Has been stated, it's about 12 feet from the building to the property line, and then there's another 20-some feet to their road. So it's a rather large space. However, I think that, again, a fence might be an appropriate condition to help alleviate some of those concerns. As far as the side-by-sides, with the cows, unfortunately, I have to take blame for that as well. Those are mine, those aren't even Knox's, and it has just been a couple times that we've been riding over there.
What's a side-by-side?
Like a RZR or just like a utility vehicle. They are fast, they do make dust, and they can potentially scare cows. So that can be something, that's mine, not even his. And if that is a real concern and something that we need to address, that can be moved to my house and not out there. As well as the drain field, Lori with DEQ's already looked at that. Obviously, whatever they recommend we'll do. As far as disturbing her road, Knox has his own entrance. There's actually kind of multiple entrances on his side, plenty of room for trucks and equipment. There would be no issues on having to disturb hers at all. So, thank you.
Wait a minute. I think that we may have some questions. Any questions?
So just clarifying the pile of dirt, was that meant to be there, or is that on its way out?
It's actually decorative rock, and I got a truckload of it to try and help my brother out and make things look prettier. We put some weed barrier and rock down. It's there because we plan on doing the landscape in the future, and so the plan was, once he gets this all settled and figures out where the drain field and everything may or may not be able to go, then we can put in grass, sprinklers, and use the rest of the rock. However, I can get it moved immediately if that's a reason for concern.
Okay. Do you live there?
I don't. No.
You have an ownership interest in the property?
I don't.
You're just helping?
No, just a brother.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Well, I guess I do, and it's probably not for you, but if this is a variance for the auxiliary dwelling, correct? It's not, the use is going to continue there's going to be somebody living somewhere. It's just this auxiliary dwelling where, I guess that's a staff question. The variance is for what?
The variance is.
The request for variance is for
Yeah,
what?
it's because the existing secondary dwelling is too large. It's too close to this side property line, and it has one bedroom more than Ada County Code allows for accessory dwelling units.
Okay, so that is the variance. But someone, whether these people live there or someone else buys it, someone can still live on that property. It's a matter of where and how. That's the question.
Yes, the primary dwelling isn't in question. It's the accessory dwelling that has quite a history.
Yeah, I guess so. So there may be kids there. There may be a variety of things there on the property, regardless of whether we grant this variance or not. Correct?
Yes.
Families, whatever. Thank you.
Was the body shop permitted to be there?
You know, that's a good question. I don't think it was. I couldn't find any documentation of it.
How about a saddle shop?
Unfortunately, records during the 80s and 90s are a little difficult to find.
So in other words, you'd have to say no. Neither
So
one.
no.
Neither one of them were permitted to be there.
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, any other testimony? Okay, could you give us your name, address?
My name is Colby Griffin. I live at 8073 South Covey Ridge Lane, Boise, Idaho 83709.
You know Sebastian?
I do. I do indeed. Unfortunately.
Okay. Okay.
So I just wanted to say, a lot of us grew up on acreage. Those are some of our most fond childhood memories. And I think it's awesome that there's younger generation there today that is willing to invest the money it takes to buy a piece of land, because we all know what 5 acres costs these days. And having an ADU or, some sort of rental income to help offset that cost to make those dreams feasible in today's day and age, I think is something that more people should do or have the opportunity to do. And with that, what better place than out in the country on some acreage, not very busy, to raise your kids. And I've heard what the issues are, from the neighbors about it. And I just asked them, growing up, those were some of the best memories, chasing chickens, being around the cows, that kind of stuff. And kids are going to be kids. And some, I've heard stories of some people as children like to run tractors into garage doors or whatnot, or go do stuff like that. But it's good to do that in a rural area, I guess you could say, let the kids kind of do their thing. But the fence along that property road right there would be that would be smart to kind of fix some of the concerns from the neighbors. But sounds like the rest of the property for the cattle is already fenced. And so that's, I don't think, as big of a concern. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I think it's good to have families raised on land, and also just the ability with today's day and age and the pricing of land to help offset those kind of costs. So I stand for any questions.
Any questions? Do you live close by?
I live right on the very end of South Cole Road. So as the crow flies, pretty close, but as the road system is, not very.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else wish to testify? Wait, no, you've already testified, sir.
In addition to me. You got an addition?
No, he's getting people to, he's going to get a chance to rebut. If you'd like to add a brief statement, that's fine. Come up and add your brief statement, but we can't. Just add your statement.
This was a business venture. This person was going to rent the house in front, going to rent the one on the side, build another one off to the left. They weren't even going to live in this location. And
Right.
they tried to sneak something in, and it's failed. Two of us complained. I don't even know who the other person is, another neighbor. But I'll take all the credit because
All right, so your biggest objection was to the other house that was potentially going to be built. Is that right?
I'm taking objection to them going to rent out both houses.
Okay.
They never intended on living here as they're talking about. And what about all this work with no building permit?
Okay, we get that. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, is there, oh, we got somebody else? Okay, give us your name and address.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Claire Bigby. I live at 14618 South Cloverdale Road in Cuna.
Okay, go ahead.
We are both friends with David and Shirley, as well as Knox and his wife and their children. They purchased the house from a gentleman and his wife and their two children when we moved in about 6 years ago. Diana, the little girl, was first grade. And they, very nice family, but unfortunately, they didn't take very good care of the property. It has been improved so much since they moved in. The only issue, I think, is maybe the fence. We are right next to them on the other side of that road. Just to give you a relationship as to where our house is.
On the map.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the map. Let's see.
On the other side of the
Cloverdale.
private
So
lane,
we're
you mean?
on- Yep, right in there.
That's you right there. Okay, all right, sure.
So we are just, like I said, on the other
Yeah,
side
that's
of
a-
that,
the
of that
lane.
fence line,
It's
so
a-
we're
It's a
right
private
there.
road, right? Private driveway, yeah.
So the house has been improved greatly since they moved in, and the property generally overall. I could see the fence being an issue and probably would be a good thing for them to put in, just to give them a little buffering from
How long have
That
you lived,
road.
how long have you lived there?
6 years. Well, it'll be 6 years in, November.
Was the body shop there while you were there?
Yes.
Is it, and how about the saddle shop?
No, no.
Yeah, so the body shop was after that. When
Right.
it was, so that's all you've seen. There's a body shop with a bunch of cars and stuff and fixing up things.
Right, right.
So you think it's been an improvement?
Improvement. Huge.
All right, any
Night and
questions?
day.
Chair,
Yeah, go ahead.
do you have cattle on your property?
Sorry, it's a joke. I have 3 metal cattle. No, I do not have cattle. We've talked about putting cattle. I have goats and chickens on my property.
And do you see are you close to the cattle grazing on the other land there?
I haven't seen cattle over there in a couple of years. They're a little further down Cloverdale. So I haven't seen any cattle for a few years.
And have you known of any issues in your neighborhood with cattles and children and accidents, or is it?
My best friend has cattle and small children, and I've never seen issues. I mean, they're always out there when the babies are born, and yeah, I don't know. I've never seen problems with the kids.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, Mr. Knox, if you'd like to offer a rebuttal, you can.
One more.
Okay, sorry. All right, just give us your name
I feel
and,
like
just give us your name and address.
Okay, Tony Bigby, 14618 South Cloverdale Road, Cuney, Idaho. Like I said, David these two have been really good friends of mine since I've been there, been at my side. I help them, they help me, you know. So I just want to say, I can see David's point in the beginning, you know, when they were trying to put that third house, but we're talking about this ADU right now. So I'm here to be honest with you. The property does look 1,000 times better than it did before. And the neighbor's a little bit more kind to me than the Russian guy that lived there before. He was a little bitter all the time, you know. So, but I have major concern with having that fence. I do think that fence needs to go in there for the safety for the kids. And I think they understand that too, right? So that definitely needs to go in, so.
Okay.
And that, like I said, I even, you know, I put fencing on my side, but that was just because it looked ugly because the fencing was falling down. Because I don't think David had a problem with me leaving the fence down because he comes over all the time and I don't mind. But I just did it because it looked funny. So then it would be fenced on both sides and it'll look really nice going down the driveway there, so. Yeah. Okay.
Any questions? No? All right, thanks. Thank you. Okay, I think that's about concludes. You go ahead, Benjamin Knox, you can go ahead and
Yeah, thank you
give
again.
a rebuttal.
Thank you again for your time and for considering the application. I appreciate everyone who took the time to speak this evening, even those who see the application differently than I do. At the end of the day, the request involves an existing structure on a 5-acre property. There's no proposed expansion of the building footprint. The surrounding impacts are limited, and I remain committed to completing every remaining requirement of Ada County's permitting process. I have already gotten 6 or 7 fence quotes as well. So I have done that in advance, and I agree it is a good idea for the safety of our children. I respectfully ask that you evaluate the application based on its unique facts and grant the requested variance.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Do we have any additional documents we need to add to the record?
No, we do not.
Well, we've had some here. You've had some pictures that's been
Yes. These 3 photos that were provided by
you
the
can add those
applicant's neighbor.
documents to the record.
Yes, they will be added to the record.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, well, with that, no more documents need to be added to the record. I'll close the public hearing on application 2026-00991-AC-V, Benjamin Knox. Okay, well, it's up to this board now. What's the move on the board? Any questions? Any discussion? Kick it off then.
Well, I'll kick it off. Appreciate the testimony from everyone here this evening, and I think it's admirable what the applicant is trying to do and keep his family in Idaho and have kind of that rural lifestyle that we like to promote here. You know, the unfortunate part is, you know, when you're asking for a variance, you know, you're asking for kind of a special privilege. And I find usually when the neighbors agree to it or are indifferent, it's usually a situation like this, usually pretty easy to grant. But if you have neighbors who are objecting to it, then that sort of raises the bar because, again, you're asking for a special privilege, and so we then have to look at the rights of the neighbors and, you know, kind of their feelings and how they feel it's impacting them, again, because it's a special right. And I don't, you know, I've never lived in a rural neighborhood before. I think there's 2 kind of discussions here on this project, and one is the safety of the children next to the road. And so we heard some testimony that the concern from the neighbors is that children could run on the road and that could be a safety issue. And it does sound like there is traffic on that road. The neighbors drive on that road, and I'm sure they don't want to be put in a position where, you know, they might get into an accident with a child. And so I think that's something we have to consider. The other issue seems to be cows and children. And I'd probably leave it to the two commissioners who probably grew up with cows, because I didn't. Everything I know about cows and children, I probably saw on YouTube, and, you know, I figure cows like children, but maybe they don't. I don't know. I can see, I mean, it sounds like the idyllic childhood that, you know, children can interface with livestock and farm animals, and that's kind of an education in and of itself. And so I don't know what level of concern of safety we have to think about for kids coming up to a fence line and interacting with cows. Obviously, there'd be concerns if kids trespassed on the neighborhood's property and interacted with cows. That's a different concern. But kids coming up to the fence line and interacting with cows, I mean, in my mind, that doesn't seem like a big deal. But again, I have no direct experience with it. So I am just wondering, you know, if we did want to go ahead with this, if there should be some additional conditions related to fencing required, maybe tabled for a fencing plan, and we could consider both fence alongside the road. And then, I don't know if a secondary fence, again, this is a discussion, but should there be a secondary fence between the yards to keep the kids further away from the cows, or just to make it harder for the kids to get into the yard with cows? You know, I don't know. But those are kind of the two issues I think warrant a discussion.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I guess I would agree with Commissioner Davidson. One is that property is going to be used probably for families. It's just the variance is for that particular that structure, but somebody is going to be living there, and it very well may always be. So I think the safety of the kids, and the applicant has indicated they're willing to build a fence. They've actually explored building a fence. Now, the fence between the two property owners along the right-of-way, that would be a mutual fence building project. Both property owners, I think, it would be necessary for both to participate in a fence that's a mutual fence dividing properties. So I don't know.
Well, it could be, but if it's a condition of his approval, it wouldn't be. He'd be responsible for making it himself.
Right. I mean, yes.
Could be. It could be. But anyway, and we keep referring to that to. It's not a road. It's a driveway.
Exactly. It's a right of way. It's a driveway right of way.
Yeah.
And so, and a right of way granted for use of that particular project or property back behind. So I guess yes, we could put. And if safety is the primary issue, which I perceive it to be the primary issue, and legitimate in terms of the children, that would be a legitimate condition on the variance, if we were to grant the variance.
And I would say it's both the safety of the children and the peace of mind of the neighbors who brought the issue up.
Yes, and their peace of mind in relation to the safety of the children, yeah.
Well, I think we've had a good discussion. Is there a motion?
Well, I would make a motion. I guess the motion would be to table this application and request a fencing plan be submitted to the county for review, to be then reviewed by the board at an upcoming open business meeting.
You just with that in mind, not grant it or deny it, just ask for the fencing plan and then reconsider it? Is that what you're saying?
I would say we would review a fencing plan, and then if we were comfortable with the fencing plan, move to approve.
So this is a staff question. We could do that a number of ways, the way he just described, or approve it with the fencing plan, and then you come back to us, and then we approve it or deny it based on the fencing plan. Which way would be the best way to do it?
Well, it would seem to me it would be a little burdensome to say, do a fencing plan and then we'll decide if we're going to approve the variance.
Right, I guess that
That's
was my
kind of-
point.
That's kind of a,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, another, I guess, procedural challenges. The public hearing's closed. This fencing plan would be new information. People would
So
need an
if you're gonna-
opportunity
if
to comment
you're-
on that. So
if you're going to approve it, you could approve it with that condition, that it be a fencing plan that's approved. by-
Acceptable fencing.
Acceptable fencing plan. I think it also would be advisable to require a landscaping plan as well. Because they're already talking about they got a whole pile of dirt there, a bunch of rocks, that they're gonna do a landscaping plan. And I think, because it appears to me that you look at this, and this has been a substantial improvement. We had testimony to that fact, that this has been a substantial improvement for what was there. And our staff didn't receive any complaints about an illegal shop, because that's what it was. It was an illegal shop. And
For a number of years.
For a number of years, it was an illegal saddle shop first, and then, but nobody can remember that. But I can imagine if it's a car shop, or if it's a body shop, there's going to be cars coming and going, and there's going to be noise, and it sounds to me like this is an improvement.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
In fact, I would even say that from the neighbor's perspective, us granting the variance with a fence requirement would be better for the neighbors than if we denied the variance, because if we deny it, people won't be allowed to live in the accessory structure, but they can still live in the main house. And so you would still have children living in the main house, but there would not be a fence requirement. And so, again, as I see it from the neighbor's perspective, granting this would ensure that there is a safety fence there.
Well, my question to the staff would be, to Richard and to you, if we deny this, could they bring back the auto body shop?
yeah, Mr. Chairman, no, it would not be an allowed use.
But it was there for 30 years without.
It was there for a long time. without it.
Regardless, yeah, Mr. Chairman, it would not be an allowed use.
Yeah. So it would.
It'd be a shed, I think.
Well, I don't know what it would be, but it would seem that it would be appropriate. I could support, because I think it's undue hardship to have a property that you can't use, that you have to pick it up and move it, apparently. Because there's 5 acres. I mean, it's not as though it's on a little small lot. It is 5 acres, but I would suggest that we. I could support a variance if we put some conditions on it and make them pretty strict conditions, that it be a substantial fence.
Address the safety issue, yes.
To address the safety issues, and I don't know about the cows, but if it's to the back of the property, it maybe could be a requirement that the fence the whole property to.
Well, Mr. Chair, the procedural question I think staff raised is, if we put the requirements in and they submit a plan, do we not have to allow the public to give comment before it comes back?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you could add a condition of approval to
That would be a condition of
require
approval.
the property owner to install a fence.
That would be
But if
just-
you wanted to, as a board, review additional information, that's when people would need to be able to comment. But yeah, if you can give Doug some specifics on where this fence is, some of the details on what you're looking for, he could craft a condition to bring back to you to review. Make sure that that satisfies what you're discussing.
And are we able to, like, again, would due process require that the public be able to comment on it prior to us voting on it? Or
That may be a legal question. We have added conditions of approval in the past if they're pretty straightforward and they are
Sure.
based on the evidence and testimony you've heard.
Just as a condition of approval, so it wouldn't need.
Yeah, if we make a condition of approval that the fence be built, I don't think there's any due process involved in that at all. But if I think it opens up a whole can of worms if we say, oh, build fence, and then we'll talk about the approval of the variance. That sounds kind of weird to me. But I'm just saying.
So the motion would, if we were going to do it the way we're just describing, we would have to do like we did the other one. Approve it with those conditions based on our discussion. You would come back to us with those conditions probably the same date, the 28th of July, and then based on that, we would either like those conditions or say, no, you didn't meet what we were really talking about, so change.
We would have to approve the altered finding of fact and conclusion with the conditions attached to it, and the conditions would have to be something that we'd approve of.
Right. So it would be this,
So just to clarify, are we approving of the conditions or are we approving of the fence? Do we?
We would be approving the variance with the fence that we approve of.
with
That would be
them
a
writing up
condition of approval.
that as a condition of approval.
But as far as the wording of the condition goes, will you give us the wording of the proposed conditions to sign off on before you submit it to the applicant?
Yeah, that's, well, we would present the, I guess the wording Doug will draft up based on this discussion and your direction and present that at the open business meeting along with the findings of fact. And you could review, as a board, you could review the language. And if it doesn't look right, you could table it, direct Doug to make adjustments and have him bring it back.
Like we do routinely. That's the way we do it
Be a
routinely.
routine thing, it'd be a condition of approval.
And then the applicant will submit a fence plan, which we will review prior to.
No.
It would be a condition, we would describe what would be in the fence.
We're approving a fence plan, and then they have to submit it, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you would require a condition for a fence. Yeah, if you wanted to review a plan, that's where you would have to open up the
Exactly.
hearing, receive this new information, let people testify on it. But if you just want to add a condition, you can certainly do that.
So we need to just be specific in the
Kind of-
language that
kind of.
you come up with.
Yeah, if you can give Doug some specific language on what you're looking for in a fence, the location, height, any details you can give him, he'll draft up a condition that matches.
And that will be the conditions.
Right.
Okay, well, I'd like to see some landscaping as well. But if there's a motion, is there a pending motion, or are we gonna?
And I don't have a problem with a landscaping plan, just like the fencing plan too. I don't have a problem with that either, as a condition.
Condition of approval, an acceptable, and we would draft what we deem acceptable, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, again, if you can give Doug some detail on what that landscaping plan condition would entail, applicant submits a landscaping plan reviewed and approved by staff, or any additional detail, that'll help Doug draft that condition of approval.
Well, I guess I could make the motion to approve application 202-600-991-AC-V with the additional condition of fencing throughout the property and a landscaping plan must be submitted for approval.
And
Is that sufficient?
Commissioner Davidson, just a reminder that you're also tabling it
Right.
in the motion
And
to a date certain.
Put David until date certain to give him time to come up with the language.
The language that puts those requirements on.
Because the language is what's the important factor.
Right. We will table
Table the application.
the application.
What's the date, Richard?
You could select the same date as the previous application, which was
July
July
28th.
28th.
Okay, we'll table till July 28th to approve the new conditions.
Based on our discussion.
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, again, I think you had a condition for the applicant to submit a landscaping plans. We'd probably want to give them additional time to prepare and submit that. Actually, I apologize. You're not wanting to review that in advance, so the 28th would probably work. But for the condition on the fencing, if you said fencing throughout the property, if you can give some additional detail, if there's a specific property line where this fencing is required, that might help Doug draft that condition in your motion.
And can we do that in a admin meeting, in a meeting with staff, or we have to do it right? So we have to come up with.
That's correct, yeah. Mr. Chairman, could you
Give
take
them
the
some,
vicinity,
give them some direction.
direct Doug to draft condition language for requiring the applicant to install a fence along the southern property line, or whatever that language is that you'd like. very specific.
So again, I think the two concerns with the fencing is it's down the road and,
Driveway.
well, down the driveway and between the two properties, which again, I've mentioned are almost two separate things, but how is the board feeling on both of those?
Yeah, so looking at, it would be the driveway and the other, it would be the L shaped, is that what you're talking about? Looking at that site?
Or should it be around all, all four sides or three sides?
Well, I believe it should be a fence adequate to protect children from the road. That's how I've described it.
That's what I was going to say. It needs to be described in a way that the children, that the focus is protecting the
Fence to
children.
protect the children from going onto the road. That could be a,
And into the neighbor's property?
okay. Is that clear enough?
Sure.
So let's maybe, since it's been a minute, let's just clarify the motion. So we're tabling to a date and time, or to a date certain, the 28th, for approval with the added condition that there is a fence added that separates both the neighbor's property line and from the driveway, sufficient to prevent or to protect children.
Right, that's what I said.
Yes.
As far as everybody, so make sure everybody understands that. So we're approving it with those conditions to be presented on the 28th, and you will write up those conditions.
Okay.
Anything else, Doug?
So is there a motion? And you made the motion, and did you second the motion?
I second the motion.
All right, and so I think it's clear. We've got the fence requirement and some landscaping requirement. I think the landscaping can be pretty open. We don't have to describe that too much, but the fence needs to be adequate to protect the children from going on the road. All right. Well, we're clear on that. Is there any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any other issues? Oh, we got one more up.
Yes, we have one more.
Okay. I'm not going to open public hearing on this because it's been requested that this be tabled, correct?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that's correct. The
Okay.
applicant needs additional time to comply with the site posting requirements.
Okay, I'll accept a motion to table it to the August 12th meeting.
What's the number again?
Okay.
What's the number up on the screen?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's application 2025-0250-8-ZC-DA-MSP.
I can't read that.
Okay.
Okay, I moved that, and I can't read those numbers, so can you repeat them, please?
It is application number 2025-02508-ZC-DA-MSP.
Okay,
Okay.
your second the motion.
That's my motion. Did you get it, Mr. Clerk?
Yep. Second. Table it to the 12th of August, right?
Table to the 12th of August.
Okay, got a second? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No other business, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.